You know, we bootstrapped our business, which is very uncommon in today's world. And we went from 0 to 48 million bucks a year in 48 months. So we ended up just going headfirst into fabrics, realized that there is no fabric out there that actually keeps you cold. People say there is, but they'll never legally get away with anything other than temperature regulating. That's the best they can say.
Interesting.
So we turned to Kickstarter, and then our second year, so our first year ended, we did like $600,000-700K in our first year. The second year, we launched our Kickstarter. We did $1.5 million in 30 days, which is a top 10 Canadian Kickstarter of all time. And then our second year, we went from doing like $700K our first year to almost $9 million. All off that growth. One innovation.
Yeah. Jeez.
Welcome to episode 39 of New Money Talks.
Perfect.
All right, let's go.
Easy money. You doing the intro? I'm doing the intro.
You're doing the intro.
All right. So we have one of the co-founders of Hush Blankets. This was a quick one. We DM'd yesterday on Instagram, and boom,
we're here
in a WeWork in New York City.
I love it.
We have Aaron over here, founder of Hush Blankets, one of the largest weighted blanket companies in the world. Can we say that? Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
We can say that?
Yeah, we can say that.
Okay, fantastic. One of the largest weighted blanket companies in the whole entire world. Usually how we start these off is like, if you were to be in a random bar in New York City and someone would walk up to you and was like, hey, who are you? How would you explain who you are? Give like your 90-second pitch on who the hell Aaron is, and we'll start with that.
I usually don't like shill myself in bars, but I don't know. I think I would just be, an edge case in some cases. I would say most times when you meet people in a bar, you figure out like, hey, where'd you go to school? Or, I didn't go to school. It's like, okay, well then what did you do? And, I played hockey for 20 years. All my front teeth are fake.
All your front teeth are fake.
You got hit with a hockey puck?
I got a puck, stick. A couple of weeks ago, actually playing Menzi, I got a punch.
Is that normal for Canadians to lose all their teeth?
Honestly, in Canada, it's like normal. Like I walked around with missing teeth for like a few weeks. No one like batted an eye. I came here and everyone's like, this guy is freaky, But yeah, I mean, I'm a relatively young entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 18, which was a juice shop with my brothers that we started right out of the living room of our house. And we scaled that up to 10 locations. And then, when I was 23, 24, we started Hush with the idea that we can meet the demand for weighted blankets with a superior product. We were very fortunate enough to do so really quickly. And, we bootstrapped our business, which is very uncommon in today's world. And we went from 0 to 48 million bucks a year in 48 months and sold to a company that in Canada, every single person knows, called Sleep Country. But in the US, it would be like the equivalent of Mattress Firm, which I think everyone knows, right? So quite the ride. And I'm 28. I still working at it. I love eCom. I love building businesses. I work with a lot of up and coming businesses, and ultimately, I just I've been lucky enough to have fun while doing it, because sometimes when it's not fun, it sucks.
100%. Well, when you're going from 0 to 48 million like that, it's always pretty fun, is it not?
Yeah. Probably chaotic though. What were some crazy things that happened between now and then? I'm sure there's a lot, but what was like the biggest thing where you're like, shit, can I keep running this?
You were doing COVID too, right?
There was so much, man. I mean, we never in a million years thought that this wasn't the plan. But when we sit down, like me and my co-founder, and we like reflect on that journey, it kind of was. We were very clear in what we wanted to build, what it needed to look like financially. And we were very clear in the path to how to get there, but it never goes the exact way. So like our first year, we sold out of all of our product in the first 3 months. We thought we had a gold mine. I mean, to the point where my co-founder and I were literally looking up Ferraris and like doing the math. And we're like, yo, we can afford one. Like I'll get it for like 20 days. You get it for 20 days, and then obviously that faded. And then like the summer hit and we went from selling like 20 to 25 units a day at $300, which is amazing, right? At the time, it was like 8x ROAS, 2018 glory days, right? Like we were printing to selling like 0 or 1. And it got to the point where in August, my co-founder actually called me and he's like, yo, Aaron, like this was amazing, but it looks like we have a seasonal business on our hands. he had a really successful software company. I had like 6 juice locations at the time. Like I was still waking up 6 a.m., opening up stores, managing 40 staff. And then we'd meet at like 7 o'clock at night and work on this. So he's like, yo, it's just not worth it. Let's focus on our bread here. And I was like, okay, before we quit, I mean, we have 2,000 customers. Let's send out an email. Let's call like 1,000 of them. Let's just ask them like, yo, you bought in, the winter months, you're not buying now. What's going on? And every single person that we spoke to came back to us and said the same thing. They're like, hey, we love the product, but it's way too hot. Like I'm sweating in places I've never sweat before.
Interesting.
It's nasty. So the
like
product's great.
blanket.
Yeah, but it's just in our closet. And I'm just like, oh my God, no one's made a weighted blanket that actually keeps you cold. So we ended up just going headfirst into fabrics, realized that there is no fabric out there that actually keeps you cold. People say there is, but they'll never legally get away with anything other than temperature regulating. That's the best they can say.
Interesting.
So we ended up developing our own fabric, but the problem was it was super expensive to weave and we didn't have proven demand. So like I can't go spend $150K that we don't have, and then we don't even know if we can sell it. So we turned to Kickstarter. And then our second year, so our first year ended, we did like $600-700K in our first year. The second year, we launched our Kickstarter. We did $1.5 million in 30 days, which is a top 10 Canadian Kickstarter of all time. And then off the piggyback of that, we went on like the Canadian version of Shark Tank called Dragon's Den. And then we had
a fake Shark Tank.
Actually, it's the first. It's the first. Kevin was on ours first. Yeah, Dragon's Den was first, and then ABC picked up the concept and then relaunched.
Wow.
Yeah, so like Robert Herjavec and Kevin were both originally on Dragon's Den. And then we launched, obviously, the iced fabric, which is still the fabric we use till today, but now we put it in pillows and our mattress and our sheets and everything just went off. And then our second year, we went from doing like $700K our first year to almost $9 million.
Damn.
All off that one innovation.
Yeah.
Jeez. And like, for people who don't know, what the hell is a weighted blanket? Because like I honestly didn't even know before I heard about you guys.
I mean, weighted therapy has been around for like literally documented for over 100 years, but it's literally the same thing. I mean, the acronym is DTPS, which is deep touch pressure stimulation. It's basically putting a small amount of pressure on pressure points throughout the body, which then releases serotonin, melatonin naturally, and then reduces cortisol, which is that stress you feel before you go to bed. Honestly, when you get a hug, that like not like a quick hug, like when someone actually hugs you, that like it doesn't last long, but the second you ungrip from that hug, that like small feeling you get, it's the idea of getting that feeling for the entire night.
Interesting.
And then you go right to bed, you feel comforted. It's really soothing.
Have you guys released any of those like weighted? I know you said pillows, but do you have any weighted like pillows of like that are for like kids or different angled products, stuff like that?
Yeah, like we have the largest selection of weighted blankets in the world. So we have sizes from 5 pounds all the way to 35 pounds, ones that cover your bed for kids, for teens, different colors, different types of fabrics. We've also solved the biggest issue in weighted blankets, which was the following year. Weighted blankets are impossible to wash. Like, can you imagine throwing a 35-pound blanket in your washing machine?
It'll break the
It'll
thing.
break that. The washing machine's falling over. Like, you have to.
Really? You saw that happen?
It's terrible. Like, if you go online and like look at the Amazon weighted blankets, you'll see a lot of the negative reviews or like impossible to wash. So we solved that. We created a zipper tech technology that attaches our cover to the weight. So not only is it easy to wash, but it's also easy to unzip. So like your current duvet, you got to climb in there, undo the little like,
it's kind of like Ruggable. Ruggable? They have
yeah, just pull it off.
Just come off. You throw them in the wash. Yeah.
So we did the same thing for weighted blankets. So now it's like easy to wash. We figured out weight distribution. So like no matter how you sleep, you don't have a rain stick in your bed. You're not hearing anything. So all the simple things that people don't really think about when you want a weighted blanket, all you want is that feeling of a hug. We kind of figured out when we developed the product.
Jeez,
that's sick. Talk to me about hockey. Because you must. Because I was a D1 athlete. I did like track and field. We both did sports all throughout high school, middle school, whatever. But so we're sports guys. But getting into this space, like, did that? We'll talk about what you did there. But did that influence at all the fact that this is kind of? It's not really like a medical product, but it's kind of almost like a self-help type product where.
Yeah, like if I look at like my journey now, like even like where I invest, it's always into like either health, wellness, like whether it be like. Originally it was juices. Like I remember
What's up, New Money Talks fam? Unless you've been living under a rock, if you own an e-commerce brand or you're looking to get into e-commerce, you've probably heard of this incredible tool called shophunter.io. Now, ShopHunter has an incredible algorithm that actually scrapes information and data across millions of different Shopify brands for your personal gain. Whether you want to spy on your competition and see how much money they're making, or whether you want to see what products they're uploading for products that you can sell on your own website, ShopHunter's got it all. Once you sign up and make an account, this is what the dashboard looks like. You're going to have a top performers section, which is my personal favorite, and also my ShopHunter section. And under top performers, you have top stores, top products, and top tracked. Now, top stores will actually show you the highest gross revenue generating stores over the last 24 hours across millions of different Shopify brands so that you can see what's working for them, what products they're selling, what niche they're in, to reverse engineer what's working and to get inspiration on what products you can sell. Then we have top products. Top products shows you the highest gross revenue generating singular products on some of these different brands and literally hands you potential winning products on a silver platter. And then lastly, in the My Shop Hunter section, you can actually spy on specific brands that you can keep track of, right? So you will select a brand, you'll have the opportunity to see what Shopify website that they're running, you'll have the opportunity to see where the product lies, maybe on AliExpress, and you can keep track of maybe some of the new products that they uploaded, right? And we all know the saying, good artists copy, great artists steal. So if you want to take some of these products and directly import them to your store, they're probably going to have a significantly higher likelihood of success than any other random product that you stumble across on AliExpress. So don't take my word for it. Check out the link in the description, download Shop Hunter, and see for yourself how incredibly powerful this tool is. Make sure that you mention that New Money Talk sent you, and the Shop Hunter team will take care of you. Now let's get back to
go to McDonald's, so we'd go to Subway. Like that was our healthy option. Yeah. And like now, like you can pay me to eat a Subway sub, you know? Yeah. So like, but that was all that there was in 2013. So we launched our, Reviticize to like be that healthy solution. And we were simply just offering like real food. And that like still till today, like serves people a healthy alternative. And same thing with sleeping. Like now I feel like sleep's become kind of popular over the last couple of years, but like when we were kids, dude, we would like compete for who can not go to sleep.
All-nighters and sleepovers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, none of us knew the impact on our development. Like, so even now, like I was before the podcast, we were talking about this cold tub company that I invested in. It's like I'm cold tubbing every day. I love it.
Which cold tub company? Let us talk about it.
Yeah, it's called Culture. I mean,
shout out Culture.
Shout out Culture. We're based out of Canada. Yeah, Culture.
That's a smart name.
Smart one.
Yeah, it's honestly really unique. I mean, a lot of tubs are the same, and there's different designs and stuff like that. But for me, it was solving the chiller.
Oh yeah, dude. Because I do cold plunge myself. I have a stock tank. I have these giant water jugs that I have to take to and from the fridge because I'm cheap. But I'm like, but now I'm looking into all these options and it's 4K, 5K, 10K.
Yeah. And it's the chiller that's the biggest difference. Yeah. And the issue with the chillers is that typically they're filtration problems, they leak, and then they eventually break.
What the hell is the chiller?
The chiller is what keeps the water cold.
So you don't have to move water jugs back and forth.
Thing in or something. It's like an air conditioner.
Yeah, because the idea is if you cold tub like 3 to 4 times a week, and you're using ice or like, it's very expensive and it's hard to keep cold. So if you can do the math that after 1 year, if you just buy the chiller, you'll save money and it's like way less of a headache. Plus it filters the water. So you'll save money not having to refill.
Is this cold plunge like trend like going to last? It seems like it's a nice trend. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's definitely going to peak.
Has it peaked?
Oh, no, definitely not. No, I think there's still people like yourself who love cold tubbing but haven't bit the bullet yet. Yeah. But it's inevitable you will. And that group of people, I think, is massive. And there's also going to be, if you go on like even the best cold tub sites or even all the cold tub sites that you can find on Google, no one's got over like 200 reviews.
Interesting.
Like we're not...
You didn't even scratch the surface yet.
Like I've got 70,000 competitors active with over 100 reviews. Cold tub, reason is it's big, it's heavy, it's tough to maintain. Think about what happens if it leaks in someone's house. The liability is huge. Think about what happens if the water can become full of bacteria and it doesn't filter properly. Yeah. There's a lot to consider when you're essentially building a cold hot tub in someone's house. It's very rare that someone puts a hot tub in their house. Yeah. A lot of these are going in people's house. So I feel like we're really early. A lot of people are like, I want one, but we're not there yet.
I have one on my balcony. Would that be suitable for a...
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect for your balcony. Yeah. But like then like weight matters. Like where you dump in the water, like all everyone down beneath.
No, dude, I literally dump it like... Well, so fortunately the neighbors, all of their balconies are... Because it's an apartment complex. they're all kind of aligned. So if I dump it over, it barely gets on them. But when I clean it when it rains, like once a month. Yeah. But like even the cleaning process, like is there a filter on that? Or?
Yeah, like you need a filter in the chiller. You need an external filter. There needs to be like you don't want a chlorine tub. You don't want a saltwater tub. So you need to figure out like the proper natural salt, like cleanliness in terms of like the way you clean it. So there's like, it's not that simple. And I feel like I see a lot of like cold tub companies just spinning out because they're going online. They're like sourcing them from China.
I've seen like 20 of them pop up like every week. It's all the same like black cheap material.
Was that the same thing that was happening with Hush though? Just like random.
Oh my God, yeah.
Alibaba companies just popping up left
like
and right.
Left, right, and center. Like I mean, yeah, at one point we had 70,000 active competitors like bidding on our name, like coming after us, and like it was actually at one point where people would buy from our competitor thinking it was us because they would try to look like us, and then they try to return it to us because they're like,
I've actually had some of those for some of my brands in the past.
Yeah, like people get rubbed.
Means you're doing good though.
People get rubbed. Yeah, that's true. But on your ads, you're like, I got scammed, and it's like, dude, like,
it wasn't even us.
Give me your order number, and it's you never even ordered from us. That's like the craziest thing.
All the time.
Well, I'm curious though, because like you guys grew really, really fast. I think we spoke about this in the beginning. You're like high AOV products are kind of the way to go. Did you know that 4 years ago? And like once you did figure that out, how'd you kind of capitalize on all of that?
I knew from like early days that a lot of what I deactivated. I just reactivated my Twitter account, but I deactivated my Twitter account and I got off. I wasn't on LinkedIn. Now I am, because I didn't know coming in. I didn't understand why people talk the way they talk online, and not in a negative way. I just never understood the motive behind it. And now, like, you know, I understand it. Like I will go to I was speaking at a conference 3 months ago, and the guy before me, I forget his name, was talking all about how TikTok doesn't convert over $50. And like, you know, if you're $50 AOV, you'll slap on TikTok. And he spoke for half an hour. And I went on stage right after him, and my talk was not about TikTok. But I just had to say, I said, I just want to like put it out there that was the biggest sack of shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm sure he's right in some capacity, but if you're in the crowd and you're on Twitter and you're on LinkedIn, you're new to the space and you're trying to learn, and I read something that says TikTok doesn't work over $50, I never would have tried it. I would have just been like, I respect it, throw a lot of followers, like, and I would have ended it. We convert all day long at $300. In fact, it's still our lowest CPM. It's our highest add to cart. Like, you know what I mean? So I deleted all of it because so much of what you need in order to grow your business is lying in the data within your business. And so many of us are not really focusing on our numbers, our click-through rates, our conversion rates, like our AOVs, our customer journeys. We're so focused on what everyone else is doing. But if someone is out there shilling bags on the internet and doing it like, you know, for me, I try to post at least once or twice a month, but they're posting daily. They're getting a bag from somewhere else, which means that their business isn't netting out properly, unless they have ghostwriters, and respect to that. But I never understood that.
Yeah.
So really important to like really dive. Like we were calling customers. We still do. We call thousands of customers a month.
How the hell do you do that? You don't
at
call
first,
them? You call them?
At first I was. I mean, we launched a mattress in a box in 2021. Every single person in the world, if I said, hey, I'm going to launch a mattress in a box, they'd be like, yo, you missed that by like 5 years. Right? Like
you did,
Casper,
right. Purple, blah, blah, blah. Everyone.
Yeah. So then why would you do it? It doesn't make any sense. But we have at the time, we had 250,000 customers. And I knew same reason we launched our pillow. I knew every single person was going to bed that night with our blanket. We had our sheets. So let's say they're using our sheets. They're using our pillow.
Now they need your bed.
They're sleeping on someone else's bed. So instead of trying to figure out the mattress world, why don't I just call them and say, hey, if you were to make a bed specifically for you, not for us, for you, what would it need to have? And so many of us will guess. Like, what would you say is important for you in a bed?
For a bed? Like,
not for you, for everyone else. If you were to make a bed, what would it have to have for you to sell it?
temperature regulation.
Like just comfortable,
comfy,
like
back support,
like 8 sleep. Like they did a good job.
Yeah, water cooling. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought the same thing. Maybe foam. Maybe
the foam stuff.
Yeah, maybe the foam. Yeah, maybe it's gotta like, I gotta like drop a bowling ball and the wine doesn't move.
The wine doesn't move.
What we realized after literally spending 1,000 hours collectively as a team calling people is that people cared about the cleanliness, right? So what's in the bed? Is it clean to breathe in? At least our customers. And they cared about how it performed when they're having sex.
Interesting. Yeah, because like memory foam like sucks. Like you sink into it.
Exactly.
It has to have a certain level of firmness.
Man got some praise over here.
That's interesting.
Tempur-Pedic,
That's
dude.
interesting.
It's a back breaker, right?
Yeah.
So we then made a mattress for that, not for having sex, but we incorporated making sure that you didn't have the motion transfer, but it supported you.
That's funny.
That it had, people were sick of all foam beds. So we had, we brought the springs back, right? We made it with clean materials. That means everything made in one place. We make them locally in Canada. They're handmade, so there's no sprays.
So you're not making this stuff
foams.
in China?
No.
Really? Look at you.
We
Congratulations.
It's gonna be expensive.
Yeah, but if I made something specific, the best example ever, I have this coffee shop by my place and I go there every morning to get coffee. Okay. It's like, I go there, it's like a 5-minute walk. And then I used to be like, at the time I was really into avocado toast. I feel like everybody else. But there was a place down the street that made avocado toast. I would go there, I buy my coffee, I drink my coffee, and then I go to this place for avocado toast. And I was just like, I don't really like this avocado toast place, but they make good toast. So I went to the coffee shop owner. I was like, hey, just make an avocado toast. And I'll buy it from you and save me time. You'll make more money. And I'm sure there's other people that want it. And he's like, yeah, whatever. 2 weeks later, I come and there's an avocado toast on the menu. So obviously I order it, right? Yeah. I felt like I had a say in that. And the avocado toast was shit. It was terrible. But it didn't matter. What mattered was I am now buying an avocado toast from him every day. I'm getting my friends to come and eat this toast, even if we didn't like it. And eventually it got better and better. But why? Why do I care? I should have just went and like, why did I come to him and consistently spend money and even get a discount? The answer is because I had a say. I contributed. I was like, yo, put an avocado toast on the menu. And like literally there was an avocado. That as humans is the best feeling. That. We love making suggestions, having a say, and then things. It's the same reason why people quit working jobs. They have this amazing thing and then eventually they get shut out. Like, they weren't included in a conversation. It's the emotional aspect of it. So we launched a bed in September of 2021 and did $1.3 million in launch weekend, which was record breaking.
Wait, so in 1 weekend you did how much?
Yeah, $1.3 million.
In 1 weekend?
Yeah.
That's going to be a clip, whatever.
And you hadn't sold a single unit prior to that?
Never sold a bed before.
Jeez.
So I had 4 pictures. No one can try it. By the way, 90% of mattress sales still today happened in person. Still.
People
Mattress Firm is a real thing.
Mattress Firm and all this stuff. Yeah,
always. We discover online, we purchase in store because again, it's a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 purchase. I want to at least sit on it. I don't care about the return, whatever, right? So think about that. So then why did all...
What's up, New Money Talks fam? Quick one for our sponsors over at AdCopy AI. Tony Mastalone and his team have produced one of the most revolutionary marketing tools to date called AdCopy AI. And what it does is essentially harnesses the power of AI in order to lead your acquisition systems and strategies for your marketing efforts, right? So whether you're selling physical products or digital products, it is much more tailored and targeted for marketers relative to something like a ChatGPT. And I want to really quickly show you how it works. So let's say my buddy's company, Javi Coffee, he wants me to run ads for his brands and populate ad copy. What I would do is I would come over to the AdCopy AI Chrome extension. I'd click create Facebook copy and I'd provide some inputs, right? So this is the input category. So this is going to be javicoffee.com. Target audience are going to be young Starbucks addicts. And then, you can also have selling points populate directly from the product URL. And they have something called a creativity amplifier, which is really unique. So the more creative you make it, the more kind of obviously creativity they can pull into the copy. It might not be incredibly accurate for what it is that you're going to be selling. And so you have to kind of play around with the creativity amplifier, right? So if you make this very low, it's going to be a very cookie cutter response depending on your inputs, right? So it might be like regurgitated, but when you have the creativity amplifier up, it gets very, very creative and it can spit out some really cool outputs, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on generate Facebook ad copy, and we're going to let ad copy AI do its magic. Boom. So we have elevate your coffee experience. Tired of the same old Starbucks routine? Meet Javi Coffee, your new coffee obsession. Crafted for true coffee lovers, our premium microdose coffee concentrate packs a punch of flavor and energy in every drop. This is so good. This is something way better than what I could do. Honestly, what any other human could likely do. And it generated that in seconds. And pretty soon they're going to have an update that directly imports this into your Facebook ads manager. So you don't even have to leave the platform, right? So shout out to Tony and the team over at Ad Copy AI. Definitely check out the link in our description if you're interested in getting this for you, for your brand, or for your agency. And make sure that you tell Tony or you tell the Ad Copy team that New Money Talks sent you so you can get that New Money Talks discount. Now back to the podcast.
Those customers buy. They bought because they had a say. They bought because
you called them and everything.
We called them and then we updated them. Like we were supposed to launch in August, then our manufacturer fucked us and said, hey, one of your competitors doesn't want me to make it for you. Because people were scared. So I shared that with our customers. We have a huge video on YouTube where it's like, I record the guy calling me and saying, yo, it's done. And we went and we said, yo, we got fucked. We're going to make this a different way. Like, we promised we're going to deliver. There was so much hype. When we launched, it was mayhem. And when there was problems, because there was the first time shipping a 120-pound box, people supported it. They're like, yo, just got to let you know, like the guy, gave it to me upside down. Maybe we should put some markers on the box that like say this side up, like little things we miss because it's our first time doing it. And we have an army. It's the same way we launched a pillow. We sold 3,000 pillows in 72 hours. Everyone's like, how did you do it? Like, what was the ad? What was like, they're like, there was no ad. We did the same thing. We called people. We asked them what they wanted. They wanted a big pillow, thin pillow, cooling on one side, easy to wash. Like, it's like, holy shit, how do I make one pillow?
I want to ask this question though. So when you call someone and you're like, hey, this is Aaron from Hush Blankets, they're like, what the fuck is Hush? They didn't even say like what is, how'd you even get my number? Like,
dude, they trip out.
They probably do, right? They're like, what's even going on right now?
No, opposite. They've never been happier.
Really?
They've never been
so
happier.
they're like, this company actually just called me.
Like they care about me.
And like, what do you say with these people?
Do you look at your Visa statements?
Like my credit card statement?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay. Do you?
Occasionally.
I feel like you're the type of guy who looks at least a couple.
Oh, I track my finances.
No, I don't at all. Like, yeah. But.
Okay, I do. Okay. Everything I don't look at, but anything that's like $300, $400, I always like, whoa, what is that? Always. So do you.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
like
the bigger ones.
The coffee shop, we don't add up, even though it probably adds up to more than 300.
No, that's
but,
true.
Right? And what do? We look at the name and go, what was that? People always remember where they spent. So we're not like a $10.
That's true.
We're $300. Every single husband knows that transaction. So when I call them, I go, hey, I'm Aaron from Hush. They go, yeah, I know.
I know my wife just spent this year with you.
I know. I have this 30-pound thing. Yeah, it's here. What's up? And I'm like, yo, straight up, like I'm the co-founder of the company. Right away, they melt because no one's calling anyone.
Yeah. And
say, yo, if you have like 2 minutes, I'm working on a new product. I'd love to pick your brain. And they will spend as much. Sometimes I kick people off the call. I'm like, okay, this is enough. We launched our store in the highest grossing mall in the country. I think third in North America, but highest in Canada. And this mall has like everything. Like it's impossible to go in. We're the only brand to open up its first location in there. Like you need to have 50 locations before opening up. It was a crazy MacGyver just to get there. And when we opened, unlucky for us, Aloe decided to come to Canada and also open in the same mall at the same time. So we're like, fuck. Influencers were saying, sorry, like we can't come. We've dedicated our time to Aloe. Like, it was impossible. We had 1,800 people come on opening day. I think Aloe had sub 1,000. Right. And everyone's like, well, how did you do it? Like, what was the sauce? Like, did you have a PR move? Was it a video? And it's like, no, like we documented getting the keys 28 days before opening because it was like a quick last minute execution. And our customers came. And one of the executives from the company that purchased us was also there that day. And some guy bought a blanket and asked me, my co-founder, to sign it and take a picture with him. Like I signed his bed. Like, his bed has, right? Like his actual blanket. Like I ruined it. And for me, it was like, whatever. Like we were doing photos. It was like, And the executive came up to me after, and he's like, never in a million years did I think a guy who sells blankets is going to be taking selfies in the store. Like, it doesn't, and you're signing a blanket. It doesn't make any sense. And I realized it was like, that's what it's about, that we're building community. We're building fans. It's not about the blanket. It's about the fact that we bring people into the fold. We let them know the good, the bad, the ugly, and they care.
100%.
So now, have you considered trying to automate that process of either having someone else call versus just sending like a Loom video with a type form? You know,
it's both. Like, we have like a little bit of we have a community chat. You know, not everything is a call. Sometimes it's an email. Sometimes it's a text. You know, sometimes we have customers that have bought 30, 40 times from us already. Like, we have different segments. You know, if you're a super VIP, like, you have my number. You can text me.
Damn.
And I get texts all the time. So, I mean, some people don't want it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to go down that path. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are your goals? What do you want to do? We were very clear on where we were going, and the competition was stiff. The trend was the trend. I mean, are we selling as many weighted blankets now as we did peak COVID? No. But the brand is different now. We have sheets, we have pillows, we have mattresses, we have different collections.
Whole catalog.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not about the trend. It's about the brand and what it means to people and what we can do with it. You know, we sell flip-flops on Harry Rose. You guys know have Harry Rose in here?
No, what's that?
It's like, I don't know.
Like Macy's?
Like, no, like higher end. It's
like
Nordstrom
Saks?
higher end. Saks.
Nordstrom Saks.
Like we sell flip-flops on there for like, and people buy them.
Wow.
Right? So it's like, you're buying Hush flip-flops. Why would you? They're black with Hush on it, you know. It's supposed
people know the brand.
People know the brand. So
100%.
And how do you build brand? Through like awesome creative and like, yeah, all that, yes. But brand is a feeling. And every time you can touch a customer, whether it's through an email, a text, an in-person thing, whatever it is, that shit amplifies way more than, you know, just shilling ads.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got a question. So you're Canadian, obviously, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. You're on the like that new Nelk podcast, right?
Oh, the Money Buys Happiness.
Money Buys Happiness, right?
Yeah, Ernie and Anthony.
We know those guys.
Yeah.
Had you are you connected with those guys? Like, because like I guess like they're like a big Canadian influence now, going part of Nelk. You're obviously a successful Canadian entrepreneur now. I'm curious how that whole thing kind of collided too, because we're trying to like get to that point, obviously, and I'm kind of curious how you ended up on that table. You know.
I think it was also through Instagram.
Really?
I don't know if we connected on Instagram, and I was in Miami and they were also in Miami, but we're both from Toronto. And those guys are like just amazing, really, you know, and forget like personality and all that aside. I think the one thing that I admire from them more than anything else, because I think everyone has their style, is their consistency, and they just don't stop. So, and people feel that. I had a friend of mine who literally said, he's like, yo, if I take a day off, my sales go down. And he's not in sales.
What?
He owns an e-commerce brand doing 8-9 figures. And people feel how much you care. They just do. They feel the give a shit. They see it in the quality. They see in everything. Ernesto and Anthony, all the jazz and what's so special about them aside, they care so much that people feel it, you know, and they want to support and they want to share and they want to stand up for them. There's a million podcasts like
100%.
them. But less than 0.1% of podcasts reach 100 episodes, and reach 25 episodes, and less than 0.001 reach 100.
Yeah.
These guys have been pumping. They pumped all the way out through COVID, and they're. I've known them. I talk to them a ton, but they're friends. But I think if anyone takes any note, if that's somewhere that you guys want to go, forget what they say, just watch what they do. And it's
obviously that was in a left field, but I was like, fuck, I saw you on that podcast and I was like, damn, we're doing the same fucking one right now.
I had like no idea what I was walking into with them, man, but
no, they're legit. Like they blew up. I guess, the thing is like somehow Canada is just like pumping talent right now. You know what I mean? Because
really.
like obviously Nell came out of Canada too.
It feels that way, but it's smaller in Canada, but it's always nice, for guys to just really pump and those guys deserve it. I'm excited to see where they go. They'll never stop.
I got another very specific question. You're gonna be like, what? So you talked about the cold plunging and all this type of stuff we're talking about before. I've seen you do cold plunging with Jesse Itzler.
Oh, I love Jay.
So if I was telling you before, Jesse Itzler's like a big entrepreneur. He owns part of the Hawks, I think, Atlanta Hawks, and his wife is the founder of Spanx.
Inventor.
Huh?
She invented Spanx.
She invented Spanx. Yeah, she invented Spanx. Like, kind of crazy. And like somehow I saw you hanging out with him, and I was like, how the hell did you do that? And like, what does that relationship look like? And how does what do you guys even talk about? What do you guys do? I'm very curious.
One thing Jesse preaches a lot that I think is true, and it's kind of how I even got really in touch with him and how we kind of started to build a friendship, is to just show up. Most guys won't show up. Like, they'll talk about it. You know, like people say, talk about it, be about it, just like show up. And I've showed up. I've showed up at his events. I've connected with him. Like, prior to Kickstarter, we were DMing. Like, we've been DMing for like 4 or 5 years. Got to connect with him like at VCon, and like we've it's tough to provide value for a guy like that.
No, seriously. What are you gonna do for a guy like that?
But honestly, you know, I was telling a friend of mine the other day, and he was asking me for a list of people that I admire. And the truth is, I don't actually admire many people wholeheartedly. I admire certain aspects of people, like, oh, I like the way that guy works, or I like the way this guy thinks. You know, I like the way this guy eats. Like, I pick and choose, and he is probably the only individual so far in my life that I admire every aspect of the way he lives. I love the way he is as a father. I love the way I think he is as a husband. I love the way that he operates and builds businesses. You know, even at his scale, launching 6 businesses, developing community, being consistent, treating people the right way, showing up, watching your words, surrounding yourself with the right people, like creating Misogis, which are really impossible things to do every year.
A what?
Essentially, a Misogi is like something you set out to do for the year that's otherwise like there's over 50% chance or greater that you're unable to complete it. Like, for example, have you run a marathon?
I've never run a marathon.
Right.
They go further out of reach goal.
Yeah. Like, have you run a marathon?
No.
Okay. I haven't run a marathon either. But for like a shit ton of money, we can probably all run one right now. We'll be
give me a lot of money.
We'll be broken, but
we'll be broken.
Yeah.
We'll be in pain. But we all know deep down we can do it.
Yeah.
Can we run 100 miles though? Now we all have to think for a second.
That's a lot of miles.
So that's where Misogi comes in. Misogi comes in is something that where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can actually do it.
Yeah.
Also,
that
like
is,
even past the marathon.
So Misogis are challenges for your soul. Things that we don't actually think we can do.
Interesting.
And he sets them out, and like he biked across America. For me, it was running a 50K this year. I've never even run 30K or 20K or whatever. So I'm doing that in October with him actually at his event Running Man. And just doing things that are virtually impossible, incredibly difficult. And and like, you know, my motto has been crafted to be like, I want to do things that give me energy with people that amplify it. So I like doing cool shit with cool people. And he's just an example of it. Like, it's the way he looks at time. It's just fascinating to me. Have you ever heard his time example?
No.
It's essentially like before his dad passed, like he had this thing where like I think the average life expectancy in America is like 75. So he's like, if my dad is 70 and he lives somewhere and his dad lives somewhere else, and he's like, if I, you know, most people will be like, okay, so I have 5 years with my dad.
We only see him like once a month or once a year.
Yeah, so, but if I only see him twice a year, then I really only have 10 times left.
Shit. Yeah.
So now when you're with your dad, it's like 8. Are you going to be on your phone?
That's true. Get off your fucking phone.
You know what I mean? People don't view it like that. You have kids, right? Kids from like 4 to 8 or 4 to 10, and then it's a way different kid from 10 to 16. So like that 4 to 8, people are like, oh, I got 4 or 5 years with my kids. Like, well, no, you don't, because you really only have 4 summers, right?
Yeah.
And summers are quick. They're like really 2 months. So now you only have 8 months of your kid's entire like childhood. people don't view it like that. They think they got time, and these are ideas that you don't have time. So it's kind of the way that I live life and the way I organize my time. And yeah, he's someone, if you're paying attention to this, that's like an easy follow, because he's another one of those guys that practices what he preaches. And I'm all about that. I despise and stay far away from people who I know are talking one way but acting another, and that shit is dangerous.
Yeah.
That was so random, but like I'm happy to ask the question, because someone definitely I've looked up to too, and I'm just like, how the frick did you figure that out? But like, no, the whole story makes sense. Like, just show up. So it's like if you show up at events with people that you wanna
just gotta show up,
like hang out with, over time you just will eventually hang out with them, you know?
Yeah. I have a bit more of a tactical question. So you've obviously you launched those first kind of set of products, then you reached out to your customer base, said, of these other products we're thinking of expanding, what's some feedback that can go into this? So you've expanded your product line to many SKUs now. At what point to the average eCom brand that's, maybe making $100K a month, $200K a month, at what point are too many SKUs like too much?
I mean, it depends on what you're selling and like what the goals are, right? Like I advise for this brand doing exactly that. They have as low as 80K a month, like 150K a month, and they actually want to expand products, but like their goal is not that. Like, she just wants to make 10K a month. She's already at it. She's very, very systemized business, and it's like kind of on autopilot. She's got good retail partners. She has a great subscription model online, and the incremental value of launching all these other products, it just isn't there for her. So you have to ask yourself, like, hey, what's the goal? And if the goal is to get to $1 million a month at a 15-20% margin or a 10-15% margin, and you have a potential buyer who buys companies like yours, and I would always start those conversations early and say, hey, what does a potential business need to look like when you buy it? And you work backwards and you have real goals, then the answer might be new products. If we're capped and we can't find any other way to grow.
What's up, New Money Talks fam? Did you know that over 35% of American households carry some form of credit card debt? And over 60% of those households live paycheck to paycheck? Well, if either of those two statistics apply to you, James Zhang and his team over at Limitless Financial Solutions have a solution for you. Now, James offers a variety of services such as his semi-passive Facebook automation stores, such as his credit funding services, and his credit repair services. So whether you're looking to get your credit right, start a new business, escape your 9-to-5 or the rat race, and build a semi-passive income stream using the powerful vehicle of e-commerce, I would highly suggest clicking the link in the description below, talking to one of James's team members to see how they can help you. So if you are interested in working with James and his team over at Limitless Financial Solutions, make sure that you click the link down below and make sure to tell them that New Money Talks sent you so you can get that New Money Talks discount. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Then the answer might be new products or upsells. Like there's so many different challenges in your business, but it all comes back from the goal. The goal is, what do we want to do with this thing? Like, what does it need to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, for me to be happy, for me to be proud of it? For me, I always knew we needed to sell the business. It was very clear. We knew who we were going to sell to, when we were going to sell it, and what the business needed to look like.
How early on did you engage with like the person who bought you guys?
For a year and a half, we were talking.
And like, did you reach out to them or they reach out to you?
It was another example of showing up. We got invited to a charity event in Montreal to pitch in front of the crowd, and the crowd would choose. And we won best pitch of the night. And someone who was in the crowd ended up connecting us to the person who would eventually buy our business. But we weren't going to go. We're like, hey, it's not really worth our time. We got to fly there. We got to stay in a hotel. What if we lose? What if we look like idiots? But we showed up and we did it. Like, it's honestly like, I don't know if you know the saying, but just like, don't listen to people, just watch. Like, it was the first time I met Gary Vee, I think it was in 2018, and I had him for like a couple minutes in Toronto when he came in, and I was just peppering him. I'm like, what do I do for this? What do I do for this before TikTok, right? And he's just like, he looked at me and he's like, just stop and just watch. I'm doing it every day. Just watch. Watch the way I edit. Watch the way I post. Like, I'm doing what I'm preaching. So it's something that stuck with me forever. It's like, you can listen to the way people tell you to do things, but just watch, like watch, join my, email list. Watch how I'm executing. Don't watch what I'm saying. Just watch how things are unfolding. And that's what I do. And then also filter who you watch. And that's why I really only follow like a handful of people very closely. And if you get enough reps in over like 5 years, it's really cool to watch people like practice. I don't know if you might know Chad Wright.
No, who's that?
You can just look him up on Insta. He's like a former Navy SEAL. And like, I climbed, I did the Everesting thing where you climb 29 feet in under 36 hours. And I was like 19 hours in, I was pretty much about to tap out. And I ended up doing I did like 6 hours with him. And I'm like bundled up, clothing, freezing. And he's in just short shorts. Yeah. And
guy's a tank.
He was just so like, he was really just so consistent for 6 hours. And he's just like, man, we don't really get tired, man. We feel good. And I'm like, yeah, I felt like shit. But I was like, I guess, yeah. He's like, well, you're good, right? You can take the next step, right? I'm like, yeah. And like, it's okay. So just take the next step. And we just did that for like 6-7 hours. And I just watched him 3 years later complete one of the most difficult races in America. And he was like limping. It's insane if you see the video with like the poles and like could not move. And in my head, I'm like, this guy's doing it. Like he wasn't just like, he was in better shape than me or whatever. He wasn't just like, it was easy to just tell someone to do something. He's doing it. He's now where I was mentally, physically, and he was doing what he was saying. And like, for me, that's like, those are the type of people that I want to be paying attention to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, take that next step. In his head, take the next step. Just take the next step.
Yeah, and if you watch him speak, because they like videotape it, and he's just like, yeah, we're good. I feel great. He's like 60 hours into a race. Like, you know.
That's nuts. I guess you told some of the people that you obviously listen to and read and stuff like that. On this newsletter you have, like, what do you share on that newsletter? Actually, we'll even link the newsletter out here. People can subscribe and all that stuff.
I don't shill anything. I got no sponsors. I literally just give like a weekly-ish update on what's going on, what I'm doing in my business, what I'm doing in my life. I host these founders dinners for founders doing at least $5 million a year to $150 million a year all over the country.
Is that all D2C founders?
It can be anything. It doesn't have to be D2C. Like if you got your own business, usually welcome in. It's totally free. I pay for the dinner. The idea is that there's no one shilling a bag. So you come in, you get to meet people. I'm not going to tap a cup and say, hey, buy my pillow. Right? Yeah. It's really vetted, strong community. Everyone meets everyone. It's not like your typical dinner. And we've had 2,000 founders over the last year and a half. We've done 17 cities. It's been a really epic community. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's awesome to meet people and pick up really cool people.
For sure.
And I always tell people, man, like you guys are in your 20s.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, like everyone you meet now in 20 years from now is going to be probably in a really serious position, whatever the hell they're doing.
100%.
Right? They'll probably be like nearing peak career. Wouldn't it be nice if you knew them? Wouldn't it be nice if you were able to provide value for them at some point in your journey? And people don't value that. They want to know, hey, who can help me today? Who can help me this month, this year? I play long game on everything, man. Like I care about every interaction. I want everyone to leave feeling like they got, if no value, at least leave saying, like, okay, he's a solid guy. At least he's straight, and people don't see that. And I always tell people like our age, 28, like, everyone I meet now, man, next 20, 30 years are going to be doing something. And hopefully I will too, but I'm going to want to say, hey, you know what? Me and that guy 20 years ago, remember? Oh yeah. And we hear it all the time from old heads, but we don't we don't actually think how it applies to us today. And it's, that's what these dinners are for people to be like,
we met. 28-year-old in like a 50-year-old's body over here. Shilling wisdom. Not shilling knowledge, shilling wisdom out here.
Time is subjective.
Yeah, we got a few minutes left. I have a call in a few minutes. You have anything else for our good friend Aaron over here?
No, to all those self-help non-cold plungers, non-believers, I'm sure you're very into, you have to be into all that stuff given what you've done. Like this guy, he's like, he laughs when I jump in a cold plunge. He's done it himself, but
it's sick.
If you could tell people how to optimize 3 things about their health that is going to translate into the rest of their life, into their business, whatever, what would it be?
Oh man, I think you just got to do. for me, it's just doing something hard. And cold tub is the easiest thing every day. Like for me, like sure, I can go to like a Barry's. It's kind of hard, but like every day when I get in that cold tub, it is the hardest thing I do of the day. No easy out. And it doesn't have to be a cold tub. It can be anything. It's just for me, it's an easy hard, right? Like I can also go and run 20K and be an absolute pain. That's also hard. But for me, it's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of something hard. And I get to do it every day. The rest of the day is easy. Yeah. So most people, man, like what was the hardest thing you did last year can hardly answer, right? What was the hardest thing you did in the last 5 years? They might have like, I graduated college. I mean, I didn't graduate college, so I don't know, but like, fuck, that's not that hard. Everyone does it. So like,
like, millions and millions of people do it.
Exactly. It's a system built for you to get out of. So like, for me, it's like, just do hard shit with good people that gives you energy, and be consistent
as often as possible,
as much as possible.
Yeah. That's a good place to end this one.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
You can hit me up on Instagram at Aaron.Spivak, Spivak. I post a lot of shit on my LinkedIn, my newsletters, like kind of where I get like, I pull back the curtain a little bit and like tell people really what's up, because no one can like comment. And then I don't know. I downloaded Twitter, but I don't know. I mean, the not to be negative, but I don't love it that much.
Yeah.
So go find him on Instagram, I guess. That's where we found him. Yeah. On our end, we think it's called the gentleman agreement. It's pretty much, we give all this free value to all these people. We have awesome guests like this. This got figured out in like 6 hours. So like, appreciate you for coming out. On our end, all we ask is like, obviously go follow Aaron, go follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. Like, subscribe, comment, just helps us out. Obviously, we passed 1,000 subs like a month ago. We're trying to get to 10K subs now, so trying to figure this out. And it's been a fun journey. We're up to like 40. I'm
excited for you guys for episode 300.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. We'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Episode 300.
Yeah. We've done one a week for over 6 months straight. So
good for you guys.
Yeah.
So it's consistency, man. And I think, things get better. And, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, little hush discount.
Throw a promo code up in here too while we're at it.
Get one like specific for you. Why don't we just make one?
We'll make one. We'll have it linked.
Like NMT. How much can you give?
Hush/NMT.
We can do like 15% off. Right?
Okay, NMT 15 at checkout. Hush. What's the website?
Hushblankets.com in the US, and then hush.ca.
So we'll have like hushblankets.com/NMT.
We'll
figure it out.
Oh my God, now we got to get dev work going.
I'm kidding. We appreciate it.
It's not your expenses anymore.
We didn't even talk about that, but that's for the next one.